Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have for you a video that you guys requested, which is a review on the Victoria and Estee Lauder collaboration. I wasn't able to get my hands on all the products. I did really want the Meteor highlighter, I think it's called. I think she had that in her previous collection as well, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get my hands on it. And a few other products, I felt that I had very similar dupes from other brands. I did kind of swatch all the products in store. I headed over to her store over in Mayfair, and I did have a bit of a swatch and a play around with all the products, but I thought that some I had very similar dupes, which I will tell you about in the video, but I did get my hands on a few products, and I have to say I really love this collection. I love the colors. They're super classic, super versatile. There's a few kind of random ones thrown in there, like the electric blue eyeshadow, but I think they still quite work if you pair them with neutral colors, and you can still make quite a neutral look with them. So yeah, and I'm also thrown into this video a review of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood contour sticks, and I really love those as well. I'm just kind of giving you a little preview, and I really love all the products that I've reviewed in this video today. So if you want to find out how I got this look and what I think about these products, then stay tuned. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. I upload it twice a week, and I would love to have you back on the channel. And also don't forget to hit the little bell right next to the subscribe button so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Okay guys, so I've already got on my base and my concealer. I've used the Fenty base. I didn't actually have any base products to try from the Victoria Beckham collection because I know she's got the Aura product, which looks amazing, but I love my MAC Strobe cream, and to be honest, I don't like products that look kind of make my face look glowy all over. I like them kind of just in certain areas, and I thought my MAC Strobe cream was already doing that. So I decided not to purchase that, even though the packaging is absolutely stunning. So I've used the Fenty foundation, which I'm really liking. It's kind of a more matte finish. And I've added a little bit of my YSL Touche Eclat foundation just to the areas where I want to highlight a little bit. So the bridge of my nose, underneath my eyes, center of my forehead, and center of my chin. Just because it's slightly lighter, so it added a little bit more kind of lightness to my face, and also a little bit more glow because it's not as matte. I've then gone in with my usual concealing routine. If you want to see what that is, I will link a video up here which shows exactly the routine I used. I've used corrector and 2 concealers, and I've highlighted as well with my NARS Creamy Concealer. And now I'm going to go in to do my cream contouring. For contour, I'm going to be using the Hollywood Contour Wand by Charlotte Tilbury. I was super excited to try this one out. I've got the dark color. I think they come in a medium dark and a medium light. I'm using the medium dark because the light one was just a little bit too light for me. I did like the fact that the dark one was a little bit warmer because my contour powder is really kind of ashy. So this kind of warmed up my complexion a little bit, which is quite nice. The lighter shade was a little bit cooler, but if you're going to go only in with a cream contour and no powder contour, then maybe you would prefer that one because it's more like a shadow color. So it comes with the sponge applicator. As you can see, I've already used this one and I've been loving it, but I thought I would do a demonstration in this video because you guys requested me to do that in my Fenty beauty video, so I will link that video here if you haven't seen it. But basically you just twist this here, and then you just have to press, and just the slightest bit gets enough onto the sponge applicator, and then I'm just going to apply it underneath my cheekbone, along my jawline, going a little bit up on the side just to accentuate that corner bit there. I'm going to apply a little bit on my chin, and then a little bit down the sides of my nose, and I'm just kind of angling this and doing it with like the side of the sponge so that I get a thinner line. Apply a little bit here on the bridge where I have a little bit of a bump, and just slightly on my forehead. Just going to kind of spread that out a little bit. And I always contour my cheeks a little bit higher up so that they makes them look like they're a little bit lifted. Make sure you always close this so that it doesn't kind of dry out. And then I've got the makeup brush that goes with it. I'm using the thicker side to kind of blend this out. And I really love this brush. It is super soft, like all Charlotte Tilbury brushes. And I like the fact that it blends out super nicely, but it's also not too big. The bristles are kind of quite flat and quite kind of thickly packed, so that it blends out really well, but it's also kind of quite small and fits really nicely into kind of the nooks and crannies of my face because my features are quite small, and then it's got this side which is a little bit angled and a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to use this to blend out the bit on my chin and the contour on my nose. To finish blending it out, I'm going to go in with my beauty blender, and I really love this contour product because I find that it blends in really easily. It does have kind of good color payoff, but it blends in seamlessly and it looks super natural. Till now, I had been using the LA Girl Pro Conceal to do my cream contour, as you guys must have seen in all my tutorials. And I really like that product, but this one is just not so dark and not as thick, which means it blends in a lot nicer, looks a lot more natural. And as you can see, it's not too warm, but it's also not too cool, so it just looks kind of really natural, and it doesn't leave you looking kind of dirty or muddy, which is really nice. So Charlotte Tilbury also had a highlight one, but I decided not to get that because, again, it's very similar to the MAC Strobe Cream, and I don't really like cream highlighters all that much, so I decided to just go with the contour one, but I do really love it, so I might be tempted to get the highlight one. If I do, I will definitely report back on how I get on with it. I'm now going to go in with my Maybelline Eraser Eye Concealer just to accentuate my contour a little bit. It doesn't need a lot more blending because it already looks very natural, but I'm just going to kind of accentuate a little bit underneath where I've done my contour, and a little bit down the center of my nose and the sides of my nose as well. But it needs a lot less blending out than the LA Girl concealer, so I'm just kind of applying a very light layer. And then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just blend this out. And I'm now going to go back in, and I'm not actually going to take out any more product. With what's remained on the sponge, I'm just going to go over this area just to make my contour a little bit more intense. And I'm going to go in with my brush and just blend this out. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of powder just to set everything in place. I'm going to use my usual, my Laura Mercier underneath my eyes, and then I'm going to use my Chanel loose powder to set the contour in place. And I'll be back to show you the next steps, but basically I'm not using anything new that I've not used in any tutorials before, so I'll go and powder my face and I'll be back. Okay, so I've powdered my face, guys, like I normally do with the Chanel loose powder. And I have to say, I have worn the Charlotte contour before, and it looks amazing. Lasts the whole day, doesn't separate, doesn't kind of look weirdly pigmented in some areas and not on others, doesn't look patchy. It looks amazing throughout the day, super natural, and lasts really well. So I'm super impressed with that product, and I always powder it with the Chanel loose powder on top, which I find is the best, and then a little bit of By Terry just all over my face to set my face, and that's the Imperless Wilder Pearl. They don't do that powder anymore, but I will link below the kind of dupe that they have right now. It's from the same brand, and it's very similar, so I will link that below if you want to know. And anyway, I always link all the products I use down below, so if you have any kind of queries or doubts, just check down below because everything will be listed there. I've then gone ahead and used a little bit of bronzer, and I've used my Anastasia Havana bronzer, which I normally use. I know that Victoria Beckham had some bronzers in her line, but to be fair, the shade that I like, I kind of think it was called Saffron, but I'm not 100% sure. I will link it down below though. It was really beautiful, but it was really similar to the Havana one. It was just slightly kind of a little bit more kind of shiny, not too much, just a little bit of a sheen going through it. It was really beautiful, really lovely texture, but it was just so similar that I was like, I'm not going to get it because it was so expensive that it just kind of didn't seem worth the money. Because I had such a similar product. I've then gone ahead with my Riddle contour powder, and I've just contoured in the areas where I applied my cream contour, so just over the top. If you want to see kind of how I contour and how I use my bronzer, I will link another tutorial here on the screen where I've done kind of my whole routine, so you can check it out because it's always pretty much the same, to be honest. I've also gone ahead and used a little bit of my contour powder down my nose, so basically all the areas where I'd used the Charlotte Tilbury contour earlier. And I've primed my lid with my NARS primer and a little bit of Chanel powder over the top, and I'm going to go in now with the eyeshadows, which I have to say are amazing. And I did prime before because I thought it was that's kind of the best test of them, because I always prime my lid, so it wouldn't be a fair test to do it without primer. I'm first going to go in with this one. Firstly, guys, can we take a moment for the packaging? I mean, it is so stunning. She's gone for a really luxurious look on the packaging. I know her first collection was also kind of this kind of black and gold, very kind of Estee Lauder. This has kind of a leather finish, and then they've got the gold around it. The eyeshadows seem quite small on the pan. For the price, I don't think you get too much product, but the quality is really beautiful. This one is in the color Nude, and then this is the blue Electric, which looks very beautiful, but I don't know how much wear I'm going to get out of that eyeshadow. But this one I absolutely love, although I have to say it is really similar to the Charlotte Tilbury shadow in the Sophisticate palette. So basically, if you look there, you can see that this shadow is literally just the same as this one. This one is a little bit cooler, and this one has kind of a little bit more of a peachy undertone to it. So it's really beautiful, but it is really similar. Super finely milled though, they last really well on the eyes, blend in super easily, but at the same time they're not so pigmented that there's a lot of fallout. They're really, really great shadows. So I'm going to go in with my fluffy brush, and I'm just going to take this and apply it on my kind of crease and just going a little bit above. So as you can see, it's a really kind of warm, peachy nude shade. I really, really like it as a transition shade, and it blends in really easily. I have to say the Charlotte Tilbury shadows do have a little bit more of a color payoff than this one, but I still really, really like this one. As you can see, even that by itself is just such a beautiful kind of shade. I'm going to do the same on the other eye now. I'm going to put on my little post-it notes on the side of my eyes just to mark kind of where the eyeshadow should finish now that I'm going to go in with the darker colours. And then the other eyeshadow I got is this one called Eye Ink, and this one is the single shadow palette. You do get quite a lot more product on this one, and this one is a beautiful, really dark black with some kind of silver pigments in it. Makes it really kind of, it's like glittery, but it's not too much. It just looks really beautiful and on the eye, and the glitter doesn't kind of go all over your face. If you really pack it on, it just stays in place, and it has like a little bit of a bluish grayish tint to it, the glitter. It's like a silver but with a bit of a blue undertone to it, and it just looks really, really beautiful. I'm going to take a flat shadow brush, and I'm just going to take that and pack it onto my lid. And this one has an amazing, amazing color payoff. And as you can see, even though it's a super dark color, there's absolutely no fallout, which is amazing. I mean, I haven't had any kind of dark shadows that don't have any fallout, so I was super impressed with that. And as you can see, the pigmentation is amazing, and it has that beautiful kind of grayish silverish glitter, which is really stunning. I'm applying this all over my lid, all kind of the movable part of my lid. And you could probably use this eyeshadow wet as well, but I find that it has such amazing color payoff that I just don't need to wet it. It already has like a very kind of glittery wet finish to it. So the other eyeshadow that she had in a single pan was like a really beautiful kind of bronzy brown that I thought would look amazing combined with the shadow. But this one in the Charlotte Tilbury palette, which is the Dolce Vita palette, this is the smoke shade, is so similar that I thought it just made no sense in getting it because they're almost the same color. It's like a beautiful kind of bronzy brown with a little bit of a golden bronzy glitter going through it. Very subtle glitter, but very, very nice. I think the Victoria one was a little bit more glittery than this one, but I thought this one I would make do with it because they're so expensive. But again, if you're looking for that kind of shade, the Victoria Beckham shadows are honestly amazing, and they have such great color payoff, and I love the fact that there's no fallout with them, which I find super impressive. I'm going to take a smaller brush, which is again a fluffy brush. This one's by number 7, and I'm just going to use this to kind of smoke it out on my crease and just blend it in with my other crease shade. This one's going to kind of take that harsh edge off the black. Okay, I'm now going to go in with this shadow from the Eyeliner Brow Palette by Fleur de Force, and I really love this as a highlight shade. And I'm just going to take this with a flat shadow brush just underneath my brow. and a little bit into my tear duct. And then I'm going to go over that with my Becca Champagne Pop highlighter, just to add a little bit of extra kind of brightness to that area. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and just kind of blend everything out so that there's no kind of harsh lines. I'm just taking a little bit of that kind of nude shadow we used at the beginning, just to make sure the crease looks really nice and blended. Okay, and I'm going to take these off now. Just going to dust off any kind of fallout from the eyeshadows and just brush this kind of corner so that the line is a little bit smoother. I'm now going to go back in with the nude shade, and I'm going to smoke my eyes a little bit on my lower lash line. I'm taking this kind of pencil brush from the Charlotte Tilbury range. And also I have to say that this matte black part in a lot of eyeshadow palettes gets really kind of dirty, but this one, you blow it out and it kind of cleans up. So I really like that because it keeps the palette still looking quite nice. I'm going to go in with this pencil brush. And as you can see, it's a really beautiful nude shade. And I'm just kind of taking this all along my lash line and smoking it quite till quite far down actually. And then just to try it out, I don't know if I would actually do this in real life, but I'm going to take this blue shade and I'm just going to use this as a liner on my bottom lash line. And it's a really beautiful color actually. A really intense electric blue, and I think it's quite nice to maybe add a pop of color. I don't know if I would use it as like an actual eyeshadow, but I think as a liner it looks quite cool. And again, the color payoff is really good, actually better than in the nude shade, but there's no fallout, which is really nice. I'm gonna wing it out a little bit on the end just to add a little bit of something to the look, make my eyes look a little bit more elongated. And I'm using this MAC eyeliner angled brush. I'm going to go in with a touch of the black shadow just to tie it in with the look on the top of the eyes. And I'm just going to use that along the kind of corner of my lash line, just to intensify that and tie it in with the upper eyeshadow. But I actually think that blue looks quite nice on the eyes. I'm going to take this fluffy brush again and just kind of dust it along so that everything looks kind of nice and smoothened out. And then I'm going to go in with my gel liner and then a bit of liquid liner, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a wing on the top of my eyes. Okay, I'm now going to go in with her pencil, and I've got the one which is in black saffron and vanille, which is like a nudie color on the other side. And again, packaging is quite simple on this one, but the pencil is really nice. It's super soft. It is a Kajal pencil, and it's really easy to kind of smooth it out. It's very dark and intense black, but at the same time, I did my upper lash line the other day and it doesn't kind of budge, it doesn't smudge. If you let it set, it stays put, so I really like that. I'm going to take that on my lower waterline, and I'm also going to tightline my upper line. So you can see that is super intense, but I really like the look of it. It makes your eyes look kind of very bold, and it's great and very dramatic for an evening out. But I also like it just to do my upper lash line and then use the nude one on the lower waterline, just, you know, for a more day look, something a little bit more subtle. I'm then going to curl my lashes. And then I'm going to go in with my favorite mascara combo. I'm going to use the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced, and then I'm going to use a little bit of my Maybelline Push Up Drama. I know she has a mascara in her range, but I kind of didn't like the look of it. It just looks kind of a very thin brush, which is not what I really like. And I know she's made it so that you can use it on eyelash extensions, but I don't have any eyelash extensions, so yeah, I just didn't like the look of it. I thought it wasn't going to make my lashes kind of voluminous enough. Okay, so I'm now going to do my brows, and I'll be back to kind of do the lips with you and show you the lip liner I got. Okay, so I've put on a little bit of blush. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Ecstasy blush, and I've put a little bit of highlighter, my usual, the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. Done my brows. Again, if you want to see a routine, I'll link it on the screen now. And then I'm going to go in with my lips, and I'm using the Victoria lip liner. And I have to say that this is probably my favorite item from her makeup collection. The packaging is quite simple, but it still looks quite luxurious with the gold top. And the lip pencil is super buttery, super soft, great pigmentation, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't slip and slide all over your face. It stays put where you want to put it. It's the most perfect nude, kind of a little bit cool toned, but a little bit of pink in it as well. It's got like a little bit of a pink hint. It doesn't wash me out, which a lot of nude lip liners do. It's got enough pigmentation. It is like a little bit browny, but it's not kind of so cool toned that it makes me look kind of muddy or ashy. So I just really love it, and I think it would be flattering on most skin tones. I'm going to just apply it all around my lips. And then I'm going to fill in all my lips with it. As you can see, I think it looks quite beautiful just like that, but I'm going to use a little bit of my Tom Ford Blush Nude over the top. And I'm then going to go in with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, which I thought was quite similar in the shade to the lip gloss in the Victoria Beckham collection. The kind of nudie shade that they have. Okay, I'm going to go in and add some falsies, put my hair down to show you the final look. Okay guys, well this is the final look. I've added some falsies. I've added the half lashes from Fleur de Force, which you know I absolutely love. And I think they really kind of go with this look because it's quite a kind of party, dark, smoky eye. So I think it really enhanced the look. And overall, I really love the collection. I think all the colors that she's come up with in terms of eyeshadows, bronzers, everything is absolutely beautiful, super versatile. The textures are really lovely. The packaging is beyond beautiful. I think they're very, very beautiful products to kind of carry in your bag and maybe take them out, especially maybe the bronzer or the powder. I was really impressed with her powder, her setting powder, but I do think the Fenty Beauty one is very similar. The Victoria one is a little bit slightly finer milled, which I did prefer, but I already had the Fenty Beauty one, so I thought I wouldn't kind of duplicate it. But if you are looking for a good setting powder that's kind of almost invisible to kind of touch up throughout the day, I think it's really, really good. I don't know if it beats my Chanel because I really love the Chanel setting powder, but these ones are more kind of transparent, both the Fenty Beauty and the one in the Victoria collection. They're very, very transparent, so I think they're good to kind of set during the day and kind of not make your face look extra cakey. I do love the finish of everything I have tried. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I did swatch a few of the products in store and I really love them. I think the eyeshadow is absolutely stunning, the black eyeshadow. I think it's a really nice way to add kind of a modern twist to the smoky eye. And I think it's great for kind of this party season coming up. I think you can make it as dramatic or as not dramatic as you like. Like I've done a full kind of eyeshadow look with it, but you could just use it as kind of a liner. And just to add a little bit of smokiness to your look. So I think it's quite versatile, and you could still even transition it into daytime if you were using it more as a liner than as an eyeshadow. The nude eyeshadow I absolutely love. The electric blue, again, I think if you just want to use it as a pop of color rather than a full eyeshadow look, it does really work and you can make quite a classic look out of it. If you do want to see it in a tutorial as a full eyeshadow look, then do let me know in the comments below because I can film that one for you. Again, the lip liner for me was the absolute standout product. I absolutely love it. I love the texture. I love the color. I think it's kind of naturally flattering on most skin tones. I usually get washed out by kind of nude lip liners, but this one looked really, really good. And yeah, the kajal pencil was really nice, super intense, super black. I do think that kajal pencils are not kind of such a unique thing. You could probably get it for a cheaper price from another brand. But I have to say that the color payoff is really good and it doesn't kind of smudge around even though it's really soft and really blendable. And I do like the fact that it comes with a little sharpener with it, so that's quite nice as well. It's quite a nice touch and it is a beautiful sharpener. And yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a great collection. It is quite pricey, but I think it is kind of worth the money in most cases. So I would definitely repurchase if, you know, I had to, if they kind of run out of the products. The eyeshadows, I think the single shadows are better than the ones that come in like the little palette with the 2 colors. I think those are definitely better. So if you're going to invest in one, I would invest in the single shadows as opposed to the ones with the 2 colors, although I did love the nude shade. And yeah, and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood contour is amazing. I think if you really like cream contours, it's a really good one. And if you like to kind of layer it up like I do to give more intensity, I think they're also really, really good. So overall, really pleased with all the products I used. Do let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of the products and what you thought about them. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.